Hi, I'm Rick.
Hey, I'm Cindy. Together we are Dry Run Dulcimer.
Yes, we are.
We are here at the Museum of Appalachia.
Yes, we are.
Yeah, but we're not doing a dry run though.
No, we're not.
So we're here for lesson 6 of
Lesson 6 already.
of the 2026 Play by Ear Challenge.
Y'all are doing good if you stuck with us that far on to lesson 6.
Do you remember what we added in lesson 5?
Chords?
Chords.
Oh yeah, chords. Good old chords. Everybody needs to use a chord every once in a while.
Chords are complicated though. They're difficult, especially for people like me that don't listen to them. I mean, they're easier for you because you have that ear for it, but we have to develop that ear.
They're easier, but even though I don't know what they are when I play them, I recognize my ear tells me whether it sounds good or bad or if it matches the song that's being played. So.
Well, let me tell you, it is hard for me just to hear a single note on my dulcimer and find it. So then when we get into chords, it's just even more difficult because now we're talking multiple tones at once.
Yeah, but chords are a big part of this, playing by ear. So I think it's something that'll kind of happen automatically like it did for you when you were playing last week, and I mentioned that you were playing the song to show that you could on your little video, and you were adding the chords in, and you didn't even know.
Right.
Didn't notice that it's just kind of automatically happening. So that's what we want, and we want all this to kind of go in automatic mode.
Well, because chords are so important and they are a little bit more difficult, I think, than single notes, we're going to spend more time on chords. All right? So today's lesson again is about chords. And if you remember, we're working on only the 1 chord, the 4 chord, and the 5 chord, which were the major chords of the key. In the key of D, it is D, G, and A. All right? So I brought my book.
What's the other way to think of that? 1. I can't do it. 1. Don't play the 2 and 3, 4 and 5. 1, 4, 5.
There you go.
4.
There you go.
D, G. So 4 is
G.
And then A.
Right. So I brought my musicality book. They say as we focus on 3 chord songs, which is what we are doing, the role of the tonic chord, that's a big word, and the tonic chord is the 1 chord or the home chord of the key.
I'm glad you told me because I wouldn't have known. I was getting ready to ask, what is that?
Well, the role of the tonic chord quickly becomes clear. When we talked before about chord progressions, they say what chord progressions, they will feel like a journey basically away from the home chord and back to the home chord. You move away, you come back. Move away, you come back. And they say it's no coincidence that many songs and many pieces will both start and end on the tonic chord. Because you're starting at home and you're ending at home, right? So the trick is for us to get good at recognizing when we are home on that 1 chord. And then when our journey takes us away to the 4 chord or to the 5 chord. So what we really want to do is work on hearing the differences of those 3 chords. If we have 3 possible chords to choose from, we have 3 possible chord changes. From the 1 to the 5, the 1 to the 4, or the 4 to the 5. And all of those go in reverse as well. So it's from the 1 to the 5 to the 1 to the 4 to the 1, and then the 4 to the 5 or the 5 to the 4.
That's sounding complicated.
It's not complicated. It's really not complicated. It might require some training for people like me, but the whole idea of it is not complicated. Now, we said a chord is actually just 2 or more notes that are played harmoniously together. But when we want to practice hearing changes from the 1, the 4, and the 5 chord, I think it's going to be easier for us if we are playing the triad, or all three notes in the basic chord. So what I want to do is give you a way to practice that. And what we're going to start is, and we're going to name these from the bass, the middle, and then the melody, the 0, 0, 2.
I was getting ready to ask, which D chord are we going to use? That's my favorite. That's my go-to.
The 0, 0, 2, because that's going to give you the D, the F sharp, and the A, all three notes that make the basic triad of the D chord. So 0, 0, 2. Let's play it. Great. Now let's talk about the 5 chord. The 5 chord is the A, okay? And for your basic, most basic triad that gives all three elements of the A chord, you have 1, 2, and 4. Trust me, I know you don't do it that way.
All right, I'm going to ask a stupid question. Why does each note of that chord need to be fretted? The 101 is also 3 separate notes.
Okay, Rick, you are correct. And the 101 is, but just listen to me and I'm telling you why. I told him already, but you didn't.
I may have not been paying attention that time.
All right. Oftentimes on the dulcimer, we do play 2-note chords, even though we strum 3 strings, and that's what you're doing on 101.
It's 3 notes, but it's two notes that are fretted.
Just let
2
me
strings
finish.
fretted.
No, it's 3
It's not.
strings, but it's 2 notes. 3 strings, but only 2 notes, because you are playing, when you play a 101, you are playing an E on the bass string and an E on the melody string. So they are both the E note. They're just an octave apart.
But it's the same note. I see what you mean.
Okay? So when you play 101, that is an A chord, but you are only playing the E and the A. The A chord is an A, a C sharp, and an E. So you're leaving out the C sharp. The easiest way to get all 3 notes in the A chord is the 1, the 2, and the 4.
What are you using, your middle finger? Good grief, that's a... Oh, there it is.
Welcome to my style of
That's
playing.
uncomfortable.
It's not when you get used to it.
Now
Okay.
Listen how they harmonize. You play yours. Ooh, there's some harmony in there.
But you're
Isn't
all
it? I hear
right,
it.
I'm going to have to cut this out because you're getting totally away from,
Well,
there's a point. There's a point.
I'm resisting a little bit.
You're very much resisting.
Those 3-note chords.
Okay.
They go against my grain.
The point of this lesson is to hear the difference between the 1, the 4, and the 5 chord. The way that you play it, you're only sounding 2 of the 3 notes. Less sophisticated ears, like mine, are going to be able to better hear a chord change that involves all 3 notes. I'm not saying everybody has to play it this way when you get ready to play chords. This is simply for an exercise for us to help develop our ears to hear the difference.
I'm going to make lots of mistakes on this.
Okay.
Trying to reach that. That's a stretch, too. You know?
It is a stretch.
I got big hands, and that's a stretch. I've got a short scale. I got 25.5 scale. It's pretty, though, isn't it?
Okay, so let's go back before we lose our train of thought. The 002 is our home. Hear it. We're home. It sounds lovely. Oh
What is
yeah,
that? What is that second fret there? Is that an F sharp?
it's an F sharp. Now, listen to play the 5 chord, 1, 2, 4. Listen.
there. There it is.
The 5 chord has some tension to it. It kind of leaves you hanging a little bit, and it makes you really want to run back home. When you hear that, you're like, I got to go back home. 5 and then 1. Oh, listen to yours. Listen to yours. It doesn't have as much tension because you're not playing all 3 notes. Do you hear that? Do you hear it?
I hear it, but it's worked for me for a long, long time.
And it can work.
That's my
But
go-to.
somebody, you have a sophisticated ear. That's what I'm trying to tell you. By you trying to make it what you consider simple makes it more difficult for somebody like me who doesn't have a good ear to hear. So we have to play to learn, to train our ear. We could play the simpler chord when we play music, but to train our ear, we need to hear the more complicated triad of the chord and hear the full tension. I don't want them to start feeling that they have to use that kind of a triad chord every time they play an A chord. This is only for us trying to hear the difference between a 5 chord and a 1 chord, and just to train our ears.
Stress that part, that it's not something, you're not saying that something that's the way you always have to play them.
Absolutely not.
An A chord. That's an A? Yeah,
That's
an
an
chord.
A. But see, that's why I explained that what we're trying to do is look for the simplest chord that includes all 3 notes of the triad. All right, so let's go back to the beginning. We are playing a simple D chord that plays 3 different notes. 3 different notes, the D, the F sharp, and the A. We are going to do that by playing O-O-2. That is what our tonic chord is, or our home chord, our 1 chord. In the key of D, it is a D chord. Play O-O-2. Lovely.
Pretty.
Lovely. Now, let's go to the 4 chord, a simple G chord that plays all 3 notes. We're going to play a different note on every string. 0, 1, 3. 0, 1, 3. Because the G chord is G, B, and D. So we are playing all 3 notes in that triad. That's what the 4 sounds like.
Pretty.
Now let's go back and play the 1. See, you're a little more relaxed, a little more at home. Let's play the G chord, 0, 1, 3. It's a little more open, a little more, it's not as comfortable.
Playing by ear, that comes natural to me. When we start talking about this stuff, I'm the infant here. I'm the baby. Because I don't understand a lot of this. So I'm learning.
But see, a lot of the people, though, that are participating in this challenge, they're not the people like you. They're the people like me.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? I mean, so I really have researched this and put a lot of thought into it, and I'm really trying to explain it in the most simple terms. I really am.
And I'm interfering.
Well, I mean, you know, I can play an A chord, 101. I could play it 1, 2, 1. I could play 1, 2, 4. I could play this. I could play this.
See, you know all that. I don't have any idea.
But
other
that's
than
not
just
what
a few
this.
simple.
But that's not what this video is about. We're not teaching them to play different A chords.
Will we learn that eventually? Some of that?
We could on our chord video.
All right.
But this is all about playing by ear.
This is the by ear chord video.
And to learn to play by ear and to tell the difference between chords, we have to be able to hear the difference between chords. Does it make sense to you why instead of playing a 101 where we're only hitting 2 of the 3 notes in a chord? Does it make sense to you for someone who doesn't have sophisticated ears? They're going to be able to better hear a chord that plays all 3 notes? Do those sound like the same chord to you?
Yeah.
See, they don't to someone like me because we don't have that judgment. I don't have that judgment.
I don't. That doesn't compute. They both sound, I can tell they're both the same chord. I don't know how to explain that.
It's just like finding the notes on the melody. Now we have to learn how to find the chords or how to recognize the chords. And if you don't have an ear for that, it's harder to recognize a chord off 2 notes than it is when you're playing a chord that has 3 notes. Mm-hmm. If we have 3 possible chords to choose from, then we also have 3 possibilities for chord changes. It's between a 1 chord and a 5 chord, or turn that around, the 5 to the 1. The 1 chord and the 4 chord, turn that around, the 4 to the 1, or between a 4 and a 5. So we need to hear what the difference is between a 1 chord and a 5 chord. So the 1 chord is the home chord. The home chord in the key of D is D. As we said, it is also referred to as the tonic. All right? The simplest way to play a D chord that plays all 3 notes that are in the triad is 0, 0, 2. Let's strum that. Let's strum it again. This is what it sounds like. This is what it feels like when we are at home. Home base. Strum again. Ooh, yeah. You're relaxed. You feel good?
I am.
Okay.
Feel pretty
now, let's play an A chord that plays or uses all 3 notes in the A triad, which is an A, a C sharp, and an E. So we're going to play a 1 on the bass, a 2 on the middle, and then a 4 on your melody. This is the 5 chord or A. It should give you a little bit of tension. You should feel a little tension rise in you when you hear that. Play it again. Do you feel a little tense, Rick?
Mm-hmm.
Let's try it one more time. You kind of feel like you're hanging a little bit. And oftentimes after the 5 chord, it leads us back home, which we said was the 0, 0, 2. Let's play the A chord and then resolve to the 0, 0, 2 D. Ah.
I heard amen.
Yeah, that's good.
Good.
So that's the difference. All right. So one of the ways to help practice audiating and getting the differences between the way that those 2 chords sound is simply to play from the 1 to the 5 to the 1. So let's do it again. 1, 5, 1. And as you play that, recognize which one is the home chord or the D chord and what it feels like and what it sounds like when you're at home. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so the next one that we're going to work on is the difference between the 1 chord and the 4 chord. In the key of D, we're talking about a D chord and a G chord. To play a simple G chord where we play all 3 notes of the triad, we're going to play 0 on the bass, 1 on the middle, and 3 on the melody. Let's play it again. That's your G chord, or your 4 chord in the key of D. Let's play G and then go to D. Ready? G, D. You're back home again once you hit D. Let's play G, D again. G, D. Good. So just practice playing these. Practice playing 1, 5, 1, then practice playing 1, 4, 1. All right? The other chord combination or progression that we have to get used to hearing is between the 4 chord and the 5 chord. All right? So let's start on 0, 1, 3, your G chord. Go to 1, 2, 4, the A chord. Do it again. 0, 1, 3. 1, 2, 4. All right, let's play it one more time. 0, 1, 3. 1, 2, 4. Now let's play 1, 2, 4 back to the 0, 1, 3. 1, 2, 4. And then 0, 1, 3. But basically, all we're trying to do is practice the different combinations of the 1, the 4, and the 5 chord. Know what they sound like. Know that 1 is home. We're trying to learn what home sounds like. Know that the 5 chord creates the most tension, and it really wants to pull you back to the 1 chord. And when you come back to the 1 chord, you kind of feel a sense of resolution, that it is resolved. All right, there's a little bit of that between the 4 chord and the 1 chord as well, but it's not near as strong as between the 5 and the 1. One of the things that we wanted to do now, last time, we played through Liza Jane, just part A, and we tried to hear where the chord changed and put a chord in. And it wasn't that challenging because we found out that we only needed to change 1 chord in part A of Liza Jane, and we needed to add an A chord. I think it was the second note from the end or something like that. And even though it wasn't challenging, it was a good place to start because we were, you know, little toddlers, babies becoming toddlers, and so it was just one simple little change. So Rick suggested that we work on Mississippi Sawyer because that has a lot more chord changes. So we thought that it would be fun to go through Mississippi Sawyer today and try to work on some chord changes. All right? So what we need to do is audiate it in our brain. Get it going on. Da, 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 da. All right, let's start on part A and see how far we get. That was part A.
You know, that was hard for me to resist throwing in a chord here and there. That's really hard.
Well, again, to make sure we have it, then we'll try with the chords. Here we go. Okay, now, after playing it 2 times through, hopefully everybody has got it audiated and they are ready to try to insert some chords in. Let's play it slow, okay? And when you think you hear where a chord change may possibly go, say, there it is. Okay.
Don't we holler it out?
Yeah, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4.
There.
Okay, so if there's a chord change right there, we've been playing a D chord when we strum open. So let's try it with a G chord right there, okay? So the simple G chord, ready? Stop. So that's with a G chord. That sounded pretty good. But to be sure, let's try it with an A chord. Ready? Right there. That A chord sounds horrible.
It doesn't work there at all.
It didn't work at all. So we figured out the first chord changes comes when we get down to the fret 3, and we want to make that a G chord. So let's start back at the beginning and just play through there. Ready? 1, 2, ready, go. G chord. Okay, now we're going to continue on. And remember, we said stay on the chord you're on until it doesn't sound good. So let's stay on the G chord and go to the next note.
Terrible.
That sounds horrible. It sounds horrible.
Now, when I went to that next note, I had to leave part of the G chord. I could stay on some of it, but my thumb, I needed that for the next melody note.
And that's okay, because the chord is really determined by the notes on the middle and the bass string, and the note on the melody string does not have to be in the G chord. It can be another note in the melody. So we're good there until we get to...
Yep. Terrible.
All right, so our choices are either going to be a D chord or an A chord. So with our thumb there on fret 2, let's lift up our fingers, and then we have a D chord. That sounds nice and clear. All right, while we're there, let's try an A chord. Put your finger down on fret 1 on the bass string. That doesn't sound good.
That's not it.
So we determine when we get down to fret 2 on the melody string, we need to go back to a D chord or it's open. All right, so let's start at the beginning. We're up on fret 4. We're playing open D chord. Ready, go. Go to the G chord. D chord.
There's another chord change.
A chord change. All right, so when we get down to this fret 1, we're hearing a chord change. We're on the D chord. We know that the D chord we don't like. So if we try a G chord, we would push down fret 1 on the middle string.
Not it.
That's not right either. Let's try the A chord. Put the 1 fret down on the bass string. There it is. And stay on the A chord till it doesn't sound good. So let's keep going. Woo!
All right.
It sounded good for a few notes.
Must be a chord change.
It's
there.
another chord change. So when we lift off of fret 1 there at the very end and go to an open fret, we need to change from the A chord either to a D or a G. Let's try it with the D chord or open. Set. 1, 2, 3, 4. Change the chord. Change the chord now. Change it now. And again. Right. So there was the chord changes, and we did do some suggesting of some fingerings, and then you can always use the chord chart to find which chord you prefer to use in those places. But we identified where they were.
Any questions, throw them in the comments. And Cindy, I guarantee you she'll know the answer. Oh, Rick might not, but Cindy will be able to answer your question. And if she doesn't know, she'll find out and tell you.
So what we have done today is we've determined that we are going to keep working on these 1, 4, and 5 chords because they are super important to playing by ear. And it's not a skill you're going to learn in a week. It's a skill that's going to take a while. All right. So what we are going to do is we are going to just practice hearing the chord changes between the 1, the 5, the 1, the 4, and the 4 and the 5. We are going to do that by playing chords on the dulcimer that include all 3 notes of that chord. Although that is not the way that we will always be playing that chord when we are playing music, it is going to help us to be able to hear the chord changes better if we're playing the full triad of all 3 notes. We said that for D, it's going to be 0, 0, 2. For the G chord, it's going to be 0, 1, 3. For the A chord, 1, 2, 4. Practice going back and forth between the D, the A, and the D. The D, the G, and the D. And then between the G and the A. Listen to that. Know what the tonic or home chord sounds like, how it feels. You're happy, you're content, you're glad to be home. When you get to the 5, woo, you're too far away from home. You gotta get back.
There's no place like home.
That's right. When you get to the 4, you feel a little bit of that, but you're not quite as far away as the 5, so you're not missing home quite as much, but you still like to go back from the 4. But from the 5, you really want to go home. Make sense?
I think these, in playing, I think these feelings are here for me, but I just never have thought about it.
Yeah.
Never realized that
Well,
it was a certain way to feel.
See, people like me that don't automatically hear this stuff need to have kind of like these descriptions. Oh, and we do have 2 really good videos that we're going to put in the links where the people that really know what they're talking about describe these differences and ways that you can listen to them and help identify the 1, the 4, and the 5 better. So look description of the video for the links to these 2 videos and watch them. They're both very good and they'll help a lot. Hello, I've got a bit of a surprise for you. After talking this over with Rick, we have decided not to do a new song assignment this week. We really, really want you to spend time working on the 1, the 4, and the 5 chords, trying to audiate them and tell the difference. Okay, so that's where your focus should be this week. And you can go back to the songs that we have played that involve just those 3 simple chords and practice adding those chords in. Do not do Old Joe Clark. Old Joe Clark has more than the 3 major chords, so just skip over trying to add chords to that song right now. But certainly you could do Little Liza Jane, you could do Mississippi Sawyer, you could do Sally Ann, or Just As I Am. So that's 4 songs that use only the 3 major chords, the 1, the 4, and the 5, or the D, the G, and the A. So that's what we would like for you to work on this week. Best of luck to you in this lesson. It's going to be great. We're going to have those chords in our back pocket in no time.
See you next time.